Has it ever gotten in the way of dating, or?
Listen, I love my short kings or whatever, but you've got to be like 6 feet at least. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not.
God damn it.
I wear fucking 7 inches.
Yeah,
like, so I'm already 7 inches taller than me.
Yeah.
I think we're average king. We're not quite short king, but we're average king.
I would say 5'10" is like, but I don't want to make people.
Fuck. Yeah, I mean, just say 5'7", you know? 'Cause that's like the global average. Just saying,
Okay,
globally.
Lachi, you have built this incredible brand around glamour and badassery. You're walking through the city streets in stilettos. You've got the cane. You're serving looks on the red carpet. But I want to check in. I want a little bit of a reality check. So what's the most confident thing you've done recently that has completely backfired because you literally could not see what you were doing?
How about showing up to a podcast 5 minutes late and then just trying to be like, hey, what's up? And then not having my mic plugged in. That's one.
Hey, you know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you this. You still somehow pulled it off pretty gracefully.
We got through it pretty smoothly.
We got through it pretty smoothly.
Thank you. Stop being nice.
Yeah.
or I'll do stuff like I've definitely done, stiletto trips. Like, let's say, for instance, I think the worst one is when I get it stuck in a grate. Like, there's some hot guy going yeah, girl, you better work it. And then my heel is stuck in a grate. So I got to try to play it off. And I'm like, well, okay, so what's your name?
Yeah, right.
While we're here.
That gives me such anxiety for my ankles. Maybe the lack of experience of wearing stilettos is the main driver there.
That might be part of it.
Yeah. I feel like my ankles feel exposed just thinking about it.
Well, I guess for context for the listener, let's just put this out there. Why did I ask you that question? Because I don't think we've actually even said it. I think there's a little bit of there's an elephant in the room here. What is the disability that you live with that would explain why you can't see fucking anything?
So usually when people can't see anything, it's because they're blind. But for me, it is also the case. So I am low vision, legally blind. I have been since birth. And then over the last 6-7 years, I had the same sort of low vision diagnosis. And then now my vision is degrading, right? So I'm going from low vision to no vision. And then I also have other things, neurodivergent. I'm ADHD, OCD, I said ADHD already. See, there it is showing. And so I have the neurodivergences too, which I also talk about.
What's the first thing? Because the word, I feel like I was tricked growing up with the word blind.
Legally blind is,
sure.
It is a massive spectrum, and I do think it does confuse a lot of people.
Totally. The word blind, and until I was probably way too old when I understood that blind does not mean like you see just black,
right?
And and
it can.
Yes, it can, but I know that that's oftentimes not. Most oftentimes not the case for people, and that's a big spectrum. So, what does low what is? I feel like I'm always curious about the description of a person who is blind. What is that?
What is your
experience of blindness? What does vision?
Experience?
What is your vision like?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think it's less than 10% or 10 to 15% actually see all black. So it turns out most blind people can see. And so you can have no peripheral vision or no central vision. I have very limited central vision. I also have relatively limited. So, okay, I'll just tell you my particular experience. So in my right eye, I'm very blind. And then in my left eye, I have almost like a donut of vision. So I have no central vision and no peripheral vision. So I have like a donut of vision. And then that vision, the little bit of vision I have there is what's degrading.
I see.
But you want to know something else that's really interesting?
Yeah.
So there are some people that have RP, which is like retinitis pigmentosa. That's the type of eye disease where it kind of closes in. And but you can have 20/20 vision and retinitis pigmentosa. So you can be legally blind and legally allowed to drive. And there's a lot of people. Yeah. There's a lot, like especially folks who are albino, have albinism. They are legally blind and also drive. So
so
that's how big the spectrum is.
So we've had someone on the podcast with RP before, and we actually, when we spoke with them, they had this device that sort of simulates retinitis pigmentosa, and so you could look through it, and as somebody who's fully sighted, you could see what the experience might be like for that, specific type of blindness. And so,
interesting.
When you look through it, it's kind of like looking through a straw. Almost, or like looking through like a pinhole. And
right.
You're saying that like it would be basically 20/20 vision in what you can see in that small area, but your like peripheral is basically non-existent.
Yes, that's for them. For me, my shit's bad. Oh wait, can we cuss?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you said your eye, one of your eyes is like a donut.
Yes, one of my eyes is like a donut, and the other one is out to lunch.
With the
food pun going.
with your eye that's staying in for lunch, with the donut vision. I mean, has that? Obviously, you said that your vision has been declining. It's been on the decline.
Yeah.
Up to this point in your life, where you do have some semblance of vision, whether it's blurry shapes or like more shadows or whatever, do you find that you inherently would like try to at least facilitate some sort of like movement or shifting in your own head to like utilize what semblance of vision you do have in that donut shape area?
Kind of kind of compensate for it?
Yeah. Or is it like, it's not even fucking helpful. Like I'm better off to just try to, I guess, use my other senses to get a sense of like where people are at or where I am at or whatever.
So the thing about it is when I was younger, I had much more vision, right? And this has been kind of a slow decline. And so my brain just I couldn't tell you the answer. My brain just constantly continues to kind of fill in blanks and overcompensate. If I did something, if it was my ears that picked something up, I would hardly be able to tell that it was because it's just so ingrained in my body. And then also I'm so used to using so many tools that I just overly accommodate myself. And so I don't really, and I hate to say it like this, but like I don't really live, let me put it like this. I don't live the Hollywood blind life. Like what Hollywood would say is blind, right? Yeah. So I'm reading books, I'm running around, I'm like going out with my friends all the freaking time. And like at no point, very rarely am I like, oh shit, I'm blind. I need to like because it is just so ingrained into like everything I do.
This is like half just like me expressing a thought, and then there's probably a question that will come out of this
we'll
in some way. But
we'll
like,
dig it out.
I had really great vision my whole life, and then over the past couple of years, it started to change. And I'm 35, and it wasn't until maybe a handful of months ago where I got glasses, and I put my glasses on, and I was like, "Holy shit! I can't believe things are so much sharper. I can't believe that that seeing not through glasses was so acceptable to me now that I've put my glasses on." And so all this time, this was probably a couple of years before I put the glasses on, where I really didn't notice anything was any different because it had just changed and slowly adapted. And so like I adapted to that, and now I've got the glasses on, and now it's hard to walk around without the glasses on. And so in the realm of like a blindness and I guess disability in general, I feel like the world in general is either not accommodating enough and noticing that people need accessibility features and things like that, or they're almost like too accommodating to in the sense of like being patronizing, like thinking that you need more help than you actually do, and that you actually can't do something for yourself because of a disability.
It's at the like expense of your dignity, right?
Right.
And we call that so there's things called, oh my God, I don't want to get into my TED talk, but there are things called models of disability, just different ways you can look at disability. And one of them is the charity model, like the charity lens, where the hero of that, the way you look at disability is the do-gooder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's say, for instance, Chad. Okay, that's not a good name. Let me try a different one. Bob. Okay, let's say, for instance,
Chad.
How about
I like Chad.
Chad's very in the moment. 2025. Like we all know who Chad is.
Let's go somewhere. Let's go
Exactly.
somewhere in the middle.
So-
Chad, Bob. Let's go Chud.
oh God. Well,
Or Chob,
Chad is
if you
still
like.
Chad is still gonna have like a role. So let's say Bob is a wheelchair user and he's trying to get into the bar. He just wants to get a drink and like hit on some hottie after work, but he can't get into the bar because there's a staircase, right? Or like the coworkers are all up there partying. Bob can't be a part of it. However, the charity model says like Chad can go downstairs and pick up Bob and bring him upstairs. Now Bob is in the party, like, yay. And then everybody goes, Chad, you're so great for bringing Bob up. And so really Bob just becomes a prop for Chad's praise at the expense of his dignity. So that's charity model. And then there's medical model, which means, and the hero is the cure, right? And so Bob is at the bottom of the staircase and he says, I want to get into the party. And they go, okay, just, navigate our busted ass healthcare system and get your legs fixed, pay for all the treatments that requires, and then come to the party. That's the medical model where you just see the cure as the hero. And then there's the social model, which kind of puts the hero, like society being accessible and inclusive, being the hero, where folks can decide to go to a restaurant that doesn't have stairs. Or they can say, hey, restaurant, do you have that little layout ramp so that Bob can get in here? Because there's this chick over here that's fine as fuck, and I think she'll like him. And so that's the social model. And
I think that was the most basic and clear breakdown of that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, like, sorry, I was gonna say, like, like the way that you were able to articulate that was, I mean, obviously you've got a fucking TED talk about it, so like you know it well, but still, even then, it's very well thought out. It's very
accessible.
It's very accessible.
It's very accessible.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But at what point in your life did you start to feel inclined to advocate for disability awareness, disability education, disability acceptance? Because like I mean, so myself, I live with cystic fibrosis, and
sure,
I really never ever felt like that was a space that I felt comfortable in, like advocating for disability or advocating for chronic illness.
Sure.
So for you, when did that start for you, and why?
So first and foremost, when people ask me what I do for a living, I tell people that I entertain people into giving a shit about disability. And then people said that be more clear, like you can't put that on a resume. But I feel like just your reaction that you guys had of like, wow, that was kind of fun. It was easy to like a nice little, some niblets to like be more aware about disability without feeling bad, right? Without being bored, without feeling weird. Is my whole thing. That's why we do the fashion and the music and the this and the that, to really get people excited about it. And I kind of had to come to that because similar to you, like I've gone through like different phases of am I disabled enough to even do this in the first place? Right? Were some thoughts of like, especially when my vision was a lot better several years ago, I'm like, I had actually applied to an agency, like a talent agency that represented people with disabilities. And I hung out with the lady and we just had a great time. Then she calls me back and she says, we can't take you. And I was like, why not? And she was like, you're not disabled enough. Like we need like disabled people. And I was like, okay. So I was like, I guess another incident I had is, when I'm in here trying to like navigate, figure out what's going on, learn the things. I kept getting my hand slapped of like, oh, you messed up. Right? From the disability, like disabled folks, right? And so I started going like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should. They said stick to your day job, keep singing. I'm like, okay, maybe I should keep singing.
You mean you messed up in like the language that you're using or the way that you're navigating things?
Yeah, I early in my like disability advocacy journey, because I all at my root, I'm a singer, I'm a musician, so that's like what I do, right? And so I advocate for disability so that I can just have a better music industry and life, right? So that like things are better for me, but to pay bills and stuff, I mean, I'm a writer, I'm a singer. So I kept going like, all right, I'm just going to sing, I'm going to write. I remember there was this time early in my disability like journey. I got put on this big panel. I don't remember where I was, but I had said something like, I don't like representation in Hollywood of people with disabilities being played by non-disabled people, right? And I was like, I feel like that's disability face. And people were like, ooh. So then I get off this, I come back to my people and they were like, bro, you can't be saying it's like disability face. Like, you can't compare disability mimicry to blackface. And you're fucking black, dude. I was like, I am? Thanks for telling me. Somebody finally let me know.
You're like, I'm blind. I actually
I don't see color. Literally.
It's the Dave Chappelle.
And figuratively, all of it.
But that was a bad one for me. It was a rude awakening because it was like everybody saw it. And so that's when I realized like I do gotta like sit down and really listen. And like get entrenched, read books. And then when I figured it out, I was like, I realized what the problem is. The problem is that disability is boring and it sucks. Not disability itself, but just like talking about it. Nobody knows how to talk about it. We're so used to pathologizing everything. And so everybody just masks. And so I'm like, we're masking to other people masking. Everybody's just running around wearing masks. So let's just have a good time. And that's why I love what you guys are doing. Like, let's have a good time talking about these things.
I mean, you really like, it makes a lot of sense hearing you say
I love
that it sort of clicked that you were like, disability is boring. And I mean, like, so I really implore anyone listening to this to go check out your Instagram because like, it's a really great example as to how, and like how well you have taken that notion of like, all right, well, I'm going to make it the least boring fucking thing that I can. And one of the things that comes to mind is just like seeing the way that you use and like showcase your cane. Like you've literally turned it into this like fashion piece. There's some photos that you have like frills on it. It looks like it's wearing like a fucking like a 1940s like flapper dress and just the way you walk through the street. Like you don't carry it and hold it like what most people assume, like the Hollywood sort of version of blind,
right?
The way that someone might carry that thing.
Sure.
And I again, like, is that just like was that a conscious decision, or is that just like who you are? Like that's how you move through the world. That's how you kind of approach it.
Yes and no. The first thing I'll say is go to glamcanes.com and buy a cane if you're listening to this and you're a cane user. And then the other thing I'll say is, when I was super young, like 8 or whatever, my mom, the social worker was like, she's going to need a cane. And my mom was like, sure, whatever. And so she gets me a cane and I literally like took it and just threw it into the middle of the street and ran over it with my bike. I was like, there's no way I'm going to use a cane. Are you kidding me? The problem was, though, I needed a cane. So I'm just walking around, fucking, is this a door type shit? You know what I mean? And then as I get older, so then I'm navigating the music industry, right? I'm doing the things, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting invited to like these dark rooms and like, when it gets dark, I really can't see anything, even before my vision got bad, right? So I go into these dark rooms and I'm like missing handshakes. I'm missing waves from like people who can give me a deal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm told later, they're like, oh, what's his name felt snubbed. Bitch, I'm blind. Like, what the? So.
That's a Seinfeld episode.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
So I started using my cane. I remember I went to like a Grammys party and I go in with my cane and then somebody just comes up to me and they're like, oh, hey, Lachi, cool cane. I was like, all right, well, that was easy. And then I started, as my like confidence kind of grew, just like as an artist, and I started getting like calls from bigger names and bigger people. I was like, I'm going to start needing a cane that kind of matches the gowns that I'm wearing to these galas and like the energy that I'm putting forth. Because then I started glamming my canes. And then I would walk into a bar and people would come up to me and just say like, oh, hey, because now they know I'm blind. They know I'm approachable, right? And like if they wave at me and they don't see me or like I don't wave back, they know why. Right? And then like they're kind of the asshole, like, oh, Lachi snubbed me. Dude, she's blind. Did you not see the cane? I was like, oh, is that why?
That's right. So now you've got the pass. You can snub whoever you want.
That's right.
Oh, I so use my blind privilege. It's so like I'll sit there and I'll just walk right up to the front of a line and be like slightly confused. And they're like, all right, well, she's next.
Yeah, dude, use it.
How has that played a role? Like, you know, that sort of filter. Like, how has that played a role in the way that you approach like intimacy and dating? You know, not just like the socializing aspect, but like from a relationship, intimate relationship kind of standpoint,
Sure.
dating. I mean, it feels like that would be a really great filter for, you know.
Well, yeah, I like to tell people that, like, I can't tell if he's cute from across the room, but I could put the brakes on it right before we make out if he's just like a 0. But, you know, it's been easy. Well, because, like, for me, I just say I'm blind, like, everywhere. Like, you know, people are afraid to, like, put it on, like, Tinder, you know, like these dating apps or whatever.
Sure,
They're like,
sure.
do I put it on there or do I, like... And then I show up and I have a cane. Did that make me a catfisher, or does that make them a shitty person for being
to
like, you should have told me?
Or not to disclose?
Exactly. So for me, I just disclose everywhere. It's just part of it. But then the thing is like, I can't answer your question fully because I'm so this whole life. Like, I'm always this. Like, I'm like this with a baby, and I'm like this with Joe Biden. Like, you get the same person.
Yeah.
Or Trump if I ever met him, God forbid.
Sure.
And but like, so when I hang out with people, they know they're getting like the whole Lachi experience. You know what I mean? Like whatever that means. So it's like, okay, she's blind, she's glam, all she's going to do is say fucking jokes. And like, it's going to be a good time the whole time. And so it's not about like, oh, she's blind. Like, do I help her? Or like, you know, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about it's not about the blindness. It's about like the whole Lachi experience, which includes the blindness.
But has the blindness ever? And I guess this might be hard to know unless like you have, you know, someone there with you who can like kind of inform you. But like, you know, has the blindness ever sort of? I remember back when I was dating. A big part of dating, or at least finding a suitor, is the visual cues, right? It's like it's body language, it's seeing the glances, the looks, right? And so, like for someone like yourself, those things are probably not front of mind. They're all going to be missed for the most part. So, like, has it ever gotten in the way of dating, or?
I am very. What is the word I'm looking for? What is it when you like, let's say I'm very like superficial. That's not the right word, but I'm very superficial. I have a few things that like are non-negotiables. Like, first of all, and this is, listen, I love my short kings or whatever, but you've got to be like 6 feet at least. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not. I wear fucking 7 inches.
Yeah,
so
we're
I'm
all short
already
kings.
7 inches taller than
we're
me.
bordering.
I mean,
we're
I'm
all bordering short king.
Yeah, I'm just 6 foot.
I think we're average king.
Yeah,
I think we're average king. We're not quite short king, but we're average king.
I think we're globally average.
Global average.
I would say like, you know, 5'10" is like, but like now I don't want to make people feel bad. I'm blind, so you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, just say like 5'7", because that's like the global average. Just saying globally.
Like
global average, I think, is above 5'7". I think
as long as you're taller
is...
than Kevin Hart, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh man,
why are you okay? You're just like, yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm a tall king compared to Kevin Hart.
Okay, wait, like sorry, Kev.
He's a lot taller in person. You'd be surprised.
Yes, right. I wouldn't know. So
yeah, me neither. I don't even know what that meant.
Also, I like I don't know what else I just like. I like somebody who dresses well, and like you can tell. you can tell if somebody's dressed well or not. Like, yes, sometimes it will require like getting very close to them or like feeling what they're wearing. But like, I like somebody who's dressed well and groomed well. And so those are still very like visual kind of aspects,
but also tactile. Like you said, feel, like the feel of someone who's dressed well. You can feel it. The grooming thing. I mean, that's something you would feel too. Like
Taylor's shaved legs. We were just talking about this before.
In the summer.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sports specific.
That's okay.
He rides bicycles, so he has to shave.
No, you do not have to like be like, oh, well, I shave my legs because. No, bro, shave your legs. We need more like men expressing all parts of themselves.
I shave my chest.
He specifically doesn't shave them. I mean, he shaves them because he doesn't want his socks to fall down.
And there's so much hair everywhere.
I actually like the feeling of a shaved chest and like being like a bit of like a seal pup.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Like, come on. Let it out.
That's like where I like to go. Like
he's like
as soon as you said shave your legs, Taylor, I was like, yeah, maybe in my arms
straight,
too.
like straight seal pup.
Yeah.
For you.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. But like, yeah, just the seal part of it.
Lachi, how do you feel about a big, bushy beard? But the beard is well trimmed and maintained, but it's a big fucker.
Gushy, maybe a little over the top.
Okay.
But I like my beards like Brooklyn is a very beard city.
Totally. Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit of a curly mustache.
A lot of oily beard, a lot of oily facial hair, I think.
Yeah,
like oiled.
But that stuff smells so good. It smells so good.
It actually
oil smells
really does.
Fucking good.
It does.
Oh, interesting. I've never used beard oil.
Oh, it's so.
I mean, I don't really have a beard, so.
I think you need a beard first, but I think that if you use beard oil, I feel like it's kind of pheromonial in a way.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
totally.
If I'm near a guy,
so it's like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Well, it's also kind of like, whoa, if he oils his beard, like we're good to
what
go.
else is he oiling?
Like, he would like fucking make me a sandwich after. You know what I mean? Like he's that type of guy.
Yeah, right. He ain't lazy.
He ain't lazy. Like he good.
He took the time to oil his beard.
Like, we're not going back.
I feel like
to
there's
his
actually
parents'
something
house.
like
You know what I mean?
really fascinating in the sense that like more on the actual like serious side. Not serious, but like in the sense that when you ask those questions, Jared, about like these visual things, and then Lachi, you are like, yeah, these things are very visual, but because our vision, the way that we experience sight, is so different. Like I feel like nobody, even if you have no like degradation of like a particular sense, you're not ever really sure exactly how your other senses are influencing the way that you experience one sense.
Yes, exactly.
Like how much does the sense of touch influence my sense of sight, or vice versa?
Like if they smell really bad, do I look at them and not see them as being as attractive? Because
Exactly. You know, or if I see something that I very much like visually, and then I touch it, am I liking the feel of it more because the sight of it is very appealing, and like would I maybe not like the touch of it if I hadn't seen it first?
I gotta say, I would think so, because we all have heuristics that we deal with, and I know it's about like whether you feel safe versus whether you feel like you need to be in defense or fight or flight, and so I feel like all of those things work together to say like yes or no to something, so that your brain doesn't have to work as hard. So if you see something nice, you're gonna also just feel that it's nice. So that your brain didn't have to go like, oh no, there's two different things. I need to process more.
It's so many things all at one time. It's and
so
all
much
of it
information
is based
we're
on
receiving.
context and time and place and all of those things. Totally. Yeah, because I was trying to run through my brain. I was like trying to think up some like thought experiments, but really it's like you just nailed it. It's all it's all of the things, right?
Lachi, this might be a bit of a. I'm so curious about this as somebody who also has ADHD.
Sure.
How do you think, is there like an interplay with your ADHD and your blindness in terms of like stimulation, and what is that like?
That's so funny that you asked that. I was actually just going to go into that. Well, I have two answers because I always have two answers. So I feel that blindness and neurodivergence, whether it's like ADHD or like being on the spectrum, autism, etc., are kind of linked because they both have to do with processing, right? And so, generally, think I've heard that like 40% of your brain is actually used for visual processing, right?
Wow.
So imagine if a whole 40% of stuff is just not there, right?
Mm.
And so you're processing all of this other stuff in the weird other 40%, et cetera. And so there's a lot of interplay between neurodivergence and blindness. So you're going to see a lot of blind folks also being neurodivergent or doing like different tics or whatever. So that's number one. But for me personally, I feel like my disabilities and my neurodivergences are like a holistic situation and they all inform each other.
Yeah.
So when I was like a kid, right, I couldn't see the board, like no matter what anybody did, or they'd try to get me large print or whatever. And I just couldn't see the board. So I couldn't understand what the teacher was saying because she's just writing it all on the board. And I'd raise my hand and ask her to like say it along, and she'd do it sometimes and forget. I mean, it just started to inform becoming ADHD, like not being able to pay attention, not really caring what anybody was talking about unless I cared about it. And then in the last couple of years, I found out that my OCD is very highly informed by my blindness as well. Because when I was young, so my parents are Nigerian immigrants and they had 7 kids. And so I was Catholic. And so they don't know condoms. And so I was the sixth. I was the 6th of 7. And my parents were just kind of like, just do it. Just win. We came here for capitalism. So go win. Right. So they really didn't coddle me at all. And I remember one time they were walking me down the street and they were walking too fast and I was behind them. And then they were like, keep up. And I'm like, thanks, parents. And so I remember I fell into a ditch because I couldn't see very well. So I fell into like this really gross ditch. And that was like my trauma. Because, if you have anyone who has actual OCD as opposed to being like, I'm so OCD, I love a clean room. Usually the OCD is tied to like a trauma. So that's my trauma point, which is still linked back to my blindness. The last thing I'll say, so I have one more. Well, I also have general anxiety, which is tied to my blindness as well. But I have a really fun neurodivergence that I love to share that not a lot of people know about or talk about often. And it's called maladaptive daydreaming. So when I was busy not listening in school, I would daydream. And I would daydream for like hours. And I don't just mean like, oh, it's nice out, I'm looking out the window daydreaming. I mean like I would have full on like Game of Thrones level like bullshit going on in my head with characters and backstories and like different movies going on so I could change the channel. To the point where I could be just sitting around for hours. I could miss a meal. I could miss class. And I started missing work when I like became an adult. And I remember at one point my manager was like, you should write these down. Maybe that'll help you. And so I wrote them down and they became some of the novels that I've written.
Wow.
Whoa.
So
this is the first time I've ever heard of maladaptive daydreaming. That's
wild.
So, MD, it's is when vivid, immersive, and excessive fantasy replaces real life engagement, causing distress or interference with daily functioning, relationships, work, or school. It's characterized by hours-long, elaborate daydreams with complex plots, often involving repetitive movements or sounds, and serves as a coping mechanism, usually linked to anxiety or trauma, though not officially in major diagnostic manuals. Management includes therapy, grounding techniques, addressing underlying issues like trauma, and developing healthy coping skills to reduce fantasy time and reconnect with reality. I mean, like I can see how that.
I did a good job saying what it was.
You did, yeah. You did.
And I wasn't reading anything. I just said that off right off the top of my head. I MD'd it.
Yeah,
you're funny.
I mean, that does sound really fun, but also it totally makes sense that it could be really disruptive to your life.
Yeah.
Although, in your case, it seems it was simultaneously probably disruptive, but also an incredible source of creative. Creative material and inspiration.
Creative inspiration.
Speaking of writing, you've got a new book that is coming out very soon. It is called I Identify as Blind, a brazen celebration of disability, culture, identity, and power. Tell us about the book. Like, where did this? What was the impetus for this? What are you trying to get out there into the world with this book?
Well, so. Right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, and hold it up a little, hold up a little higher. Yeah, there we go.
A little higher.
Yay.
A little higher.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
I love that color, that cover.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah,
It is beautiful.
That is
Yeah.
a fun cover.
So this book comes out in January, and when it does come out, it will have Braille on it as well. So that'll be a nice little nod to the culture. And then the font is dyslexic-friendly font as well.
What does that mean?
You tell me. I can't see. Like, so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm also very curious. I've never heard. I've never heard of it.
I thought they bold
there are
like
fonts
the first.
that, like, if you have dyslexia and you read for long periods of time, it can do everything from cause headache or lack of comprehension and all that stuff. So there are certain fonts that bypass that have been tested, and so this is one of them. Or at least
these fonts are designed to
Super cool.
improve readability through features like unique letter shapes, heavier bottoms.
I feel like Comic Sans was designed as
sans serif fonts, Arial,
Sans,
Verdana, Calibri, Helvetica.
I feel like these are all the fonts that I use in my everyday life.
Well, then Taylor,
Maybe I'm dyslexic. I don't even know it because all the fonts I use are so friendly to it.
Yeah,
I think they intentionally make those the common
those
default
ones.
choices.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Those reasons.
Look at that. The world's being accommodated.
Anyway, continue. Braille and dyslexic fonts.
And also a large print version will be released and an audiobook at the same time.
Nice.
But why did I write this book? So, like, it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. You know, we're all masking. And I believe it's because we are just stuck in this internalized ableism we don't realize that we have. Everything's pathologized, right? Everyone's so afraid of being pathologized, right? They're like, oh, if I do this, people are going to think I'm weak or too different or small or not a whatever, right? And I think it's because of stigma, just the way we talk about disability. Because we talk about it so either compliancy or grievancy or boring, we don't talk about the benefits of fucking being different. Like the benefits of having something that's like off about you that you have to overcompensate for. And that because you so heavily overcompensated for it, now you're like a super duper expert at it. And then all of a sudden you have it accommodated and now you're some kind of wizard. Like that's essentially what disability is. And so I want to start talking about disability in a fun way, entertaining, jokes. Let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about the heroes, the innovations that have come with it. Let's talk about the art that has come from it in the past and today. Who are the current celebrities? That's what this book is. It answers all of those questions. It's a really fun sort of romp using my stories and the stories of like public figures and celebrities I interviewed, as well as, you know, just some pop culture deep dives, historical deep dives. And really, it is a celebration and a joyful invitation for anyone to talk about disability in a way that is not fucking doesn't bum everybody out.
I'm really
into that. Hell yeah.
I love that, and I'm really curious about the title too. You know, especially sharing that story earlier about being on that panel and making that reference to a disability face, and then like I identify as blind. We live in this like identity sort of culture right now, and it's very provocative in a sense to name the book that. So tell us more about the naming of it.
Well, it's kind of so when I first got into the space, a few of the folks that I met or at least knew of early on were saying things like, oh, I happen to be blind, right? Or I happen to have a disability. And for whatever reason, I didn't react well to that. Like, I felt like you're still pushing it off, right? You're not actually standing in it. So I would go around and for my openings at my shows, I would say, you know, I am a, you know, Nigerian American Aries from New York and a proud blind woman. Like it would take up all this time, me talking about how proud I was of all my identities. So now I would just say like, hey, I'm Lachi. I give a visual description of myself at the top of each show. So I say, my name is Lachi. I'm a Black woman with cornrows and I identify as blind. So that's my opening, right? And then when one of the first big things I did was Historian's Take, which is like a series on PBS. So they call me up and they're like, hey, can you come on Historian's Take? And I'm like, oh my God, PBS called me. I'm somebody. I made it. And they were like, can you talk about Ray Charles? I'm like, fuck. Okay, sure. So we get on there and we have I have a great conversation with the host about Ray Charles. We talk about, the trope of like the black blind musician kind of thing. But I started out the whole interview saying my name is Lachi. I'm a black woman with cornrows and I identify as blind. All the comments, some of the comments were about Ray Charles, I guess, but most of the comments were about that. They were like, wait, you can't identify as blind. It's just a diagnosis, or we don't want people to think trans blindness is a thing, or identity politics. How dare she say that? Everyone was pissed. Actually,
yeah.
And then, so I was like, ooh. So then I went to Google calls, and they're like, "Can you be on a Super Bowl ad?" So they were doing these big Super Bowl ads for TikTok and Facebook, and I was like, yes. So it was also kind of an interview style thing, celebrating something that they had or whatever. But I started it out with saying, I'm Lachi, a black woman with cornrows and identify as blind. That thing had 5 million hits.
Yeah.
And all the comments were about my fucking identify as blind.
Yeah.
So it just kept happening.
That's
so
it.
Said, all right, bitch,
and you were going,
wearing this
we're
shit on a t-shirt.
That's it. Because and asking that question about the title, I assume that there would be this sort of pushback because people don't understand it. And from doing this podcast, and Jer says this quite often, is that this idea of sort of people will say I don't want my illness to define me, and Jer's always said, I actually want my illness to define me, and I'll have it define me on my own terms, and I get to decide what that's like.
Yes,
and so to me, when I see the name of that book, I feel like you're saying it in that sense. I identify as blind because I'm proud to this is part of my experience, and I want to own that part of my experience, and so I'm not trying to shy away from that fact.
Well, when I first got out of college, I started, one of my first jobs was at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, randomly. Pretty hefty. Okay, yes, boss. I remember while I was there, I was kind of living a double life, a musician at night, and then I don't know, whatever I did there during the day.
A spy.
Yeah, right. But at one point, we go to South by Southwest, which is a big festival, the big festival.
We've been,
Yeah. And we went and we were playing the guitar. It was me and a blind guitarist. And we just went and we played some hole in the wall. We didn't even have a real gig. But we got spotted by a major label agent. And he was like, I want to sign you guys. I love what you're doing. He gave us his card. We were both blind, so we took some time for us to figure out what the card said.
You're like, do you have one with Braille?
Yeah, Brian's like, hello, be inclusive. So anyway, I ended up getting signed to EMI, which was a major label at that time. And it was the deal of a lifetime, right? I had always wanted, we started touring, we started doing all this stuff, but their PR was blind singer and blind band. Right,
right.
Because
the circus is coming to town. Come see the freaks. They can't even see the keys.
It's oh my god! And then the publicity, sometimes they were even getting the disability wrong because they didn't care. They're like, a deaf group of artists are coming to our town. What?
Something to do with a sense.
Yeah. So I ended up having to get out. I ended up getting out of that deal. And it was really kind of heartbreaking because I wanted it, but we were just having so much trouble getting it right. And it's so funny when I tell people that story, they're like, but you say you're a blind musician all the time. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I'm saying it from my power, right? Not from this kind of stigmatized, societal charity model-esque situation.
And almost as a bit of a marketing,
exploitative prop kind of, Sarah McLachlan in the background type shit.
That's a great word.
Sarah McLachlan. Canada. Yes, we love Sarah.
Lachi, I mean, you're just a treat to talk to. Just so much fun. So much fun.
I just want to hang out with you.
I'm
the
a
work
fun
that
hang.
you're doing.
Thank you.
You really are. And if your book is anything like you as a person, it's going to also be an extremely fun time. The book is coming out in January, correct? January 27th, I believe it is available from Penguin Random House.
Yes.
Congratulations. How can people stay up to date with the work that you're doing? How can people find you? I mean, I know you're all over the internet.
Yeah.
Plug away.
Yeah. So it is coming out January 27 under Tiny Reparations Books, under Penguin Random House, as you said. You can go to my website, lachimusic.com, LACHIMUSIC.com. It's right there on the homepage. Go ahead and pre-order. It's holiday season, so get one for yourself, your mama, everybody at your workplace. Be the Secret Santa hero, okay? You can also check out my music there as well. You can see upcoming dates. We're going to be doing a whole book tour, so you can see all the upcoming tour dates, new music. Also, and we didn't really touch on this. As I'm a Grammys trustee, I'm also the CEO of an organization called RAMPed, which is recording artists and music professionals with disabilities. And if that resonates with you in any way, check us out at ramped.org, RAMPD.org. We're doing a lot of work within the music industry to be more inclusive. But yeah, check me out. Lachi like Versace. I'm here. I'm your best friend. Like, I'm in your backyard throwing the stones at your window. Let's do this.
All the links there will be in the show notes, folks. So pop on in there, click away, and again, Lachi, you're just the best. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and we're excited to see what you have in the can next.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. That was so fun.
That was awesome.
I wanted to bring this up, but I felt like we probably didn't have time. But